So it should have the please stand by.
We got any funky fresh music?
N- no, but I can try to get some real quick.
Why you keep trying
Oh,
to add
it's
stuff
all
while
good,
this
man.
man working?
It's all good. Get it some other time.
But I can try to get some. Why you keep trying
Oh,
to add
it's
stuff
all
while
good, man.
this
It's all good. Get it some
There we
man
go.
working?
There's some music playing.
Yeah.
I'll stop it whenever you guys are ready.
Oh, word?
There's some music.
Yeah, man.
I'll stop whenever you guys are ready.
Danger 5 on my Netflix. My super smash skills are average. My being lame skills are absent. Let me give a quick shout out to Portland. My PlayStation just got the port. Cause it's foreign. Everything's foreign. My PlayStation just got the port. Cause it's foreign. Everything's foreign. Levels of punks meaning radicals, not meaning jumps. 30 for 30, I'm just hitting 30. My level is 30, my EXP up. Back up at 8, smoking for lunch. Back up at 8, rolling for love. Yeah. I'm living every day to be a Quidditch expert. My tech and skills need work. A couple edibles, a little perk. Couple hits, got me
When he said
leaning
let's
like
do
my
this, it
name
actually
Lurch.
synced up
I
with the
feel him
beat.
praying,
Like
but
when a
in
guy was
no
about to
church.
spit.
Nowadays I feel like Steve Buscemi. New Charger with a mean Hemi. Watching half plenty. R.I.P. to Bowie, R.I.P. to Lemmy. Dose of gas, anything for the gang. 808 to
I
PMA.
don't even think he has his headphones
808 to
on.
PMA.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Mission 3 podcast, the premier podcast for gaming and real talk. It's your host, KJ Knowledge and Corey Elijah, and we're back with another awesome broadcast for you. How you guys doing?
Doing
Good,
fantastic, my dude.
That is what's up. So we are back with more missions for you guys. Luckily, you guys, we got a nice amount of people that voted in our fan submission poll. So our second mission today is going to be the fan selected mission. We'll let you know more about that after we get into these plugs, though. So before we get into the whole broadcast, I want to make sure you guys check out playlegit.net. Again, that's going to be the premier place for gaming and real talk. You're going to get exclusive reviews. You're going to get exclusive shows. It's all going to be exclusive, original content, all real talk. We're not holding anything back. We're giving you the real. If we don't like a game, we're actually going to say we don't like a game. We pay for these titles here. We actually use our own funds to make this type of stuff happen for you guys. So we're going to give you our honest opinion because we don't have corporations in our pockets. So make sure you guys stop by playlegit.net and make sure you indulge in all the real that you can handle. And also stop by our Twitter page as well, at playlegit and at Mission 3 Podcast. That's where you're going to be able to vote in all the polls, where you can help us select missions every week and all of that cool stuff. Other than that, we do have a few cool articles up on the site. We have a brand new Switch unboxing reveal. That's all done by Mrs. Throwback. She went out at midnight for the release. She live streamed a lot of that, so make sure you check out all of that content there. She's going to give you the rundown of everything that she picked up. She picked up that Breath of the Wild, so make sure you go and check out that review and that unboxing because that is
Scorcher.
definitely awesome. Yes. Hey. Before we get into this, let's talk about the Switch and some of this Breath of the Wild. What do you guys think about it so far?
I haven't seen it.
What are you talking about, the video game?
I'm talking about the game, man. The game, the Switch, any of it.
I don't know if he meant the system. Well, we're talking about the Switch. It's too early to call, but the game, I rented it on Wii U because it's multi-plat. Don't forget that, folks. So I'm saving a little bit of scratch till they get more games for that Switch. And let me tell you that this game is hot as hell. And everything that you've been reading, I can confirm is accurate and true.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good stuff about Breath of the Wild. Me and you were talking about it the other night when we were doing the Dragon Ball Super podcast that we were doing, and you got me pretty hyped on it too. From what I've seen, the gameplays and stuff, it looks amazing. It looks really fun. So I'm definitely gonna have to pick up my title soon on the Wii U, might I add, because I
We
don't
gonna
think
save that money.
you know. Thank you, little Dicky. Coming with that real. Coming with that real. So on that note, we might as well go ahead and get on into these missions. Again, for everybody out there that's kind of new to the concept here, we have 3 missions. Each mission, we have 10 minutes to tackle each topic. Some of the topics are selected by us. One of the topics every week is selected by you, the fans, and that's why we said you have to go to our Twitter page and make sure you participate in that poll so you can get the subject matters that you want to hear, the topics and all that cool stuff on the show every week. So this week we're going to be dealing with the brand new Xbox streaming service, the Xbox Game Pass, as well as selected by you, the fans, a Logan movie review, and then our third mission is going to be handheld ports that don't suck. So games that started off on console that ported over to a handheld system that didn't become total trash. So the first mission we're going to go into is going to be the Xbox Game Pass. So if you guys are ready, we can go ahead and get into mission 1.
I'm prepared, my friend.
We are ready.
Sounds good, my friends. Now, let the mission begin.
Well, I'm ready. I'll go ahead and sound off real quick. The PlayStation service that Xbox service is similar to represents to me the death of stores like GameStop. There's already been a bunch of bad stuff that's been coming out about GameStop, the way they stock their shelves, the way they treat their employees, stuff like that. However, with people never having to leave their homes to get their hands on a game now, that is going to be the death of a store, especially when you can go back and get all the old titles and just pay like a monthly fee and play it as much as you want. I can't imagine that. I mean, I'm still a person that likes having the physical copy, so I don't know how I feel about it, but I mean, the whole transition from physical copy to digital copies is in full effect right now.
Yes, this Xbox Game Pass, what I read is that it's not like you're streaming it, and I thought it was that way, but you get access to download all these games, so it's still being saved to your but you can only access it with that $10 monthly fee.
Yeah, it seems like it's kind of like it's similar to PlayStation Plus, where as long as you have PlayStation Plus, you have access to the free games. Whereas Xbox, if you lose Xbox Gold, you still have those free games that you got. But as long as you have that monthly service, you can access the games anytime you want because it's on your hard drive.
It's like that EA Access that they're doing on Xbox One, but with a lot more games.
Yeah.
Mm.
Now, what would be interesting to me is if they made it where you could go way back, not just like a couple 360 games, a couple Xbox One, and go back to Xbox original, because there's just some games that were rare at the time, and you think about getting your hands on it now, forget about it. So if they offered a service was like, gee, we could get some like super throwback titles that are impossible to get a hold of. Man, that's gonna be a hard deal to turn down.
Yeah. Now, the only thing that I could say that may be a con with this whole service would be if they pull like a Netflix, where you have a certain amount of titles that's on the service, but then they periodically rotate different games out, different titles out. That would be kind of disappointing, especially if you're paying that money, especially when the game that you may have signed up for the service for ends up getting taken off, That's one thing about streaming services that always seem to kind of be like the catch-22. It's like, yeah, you can play all of these games, but it's kind of going to be a pool of games that we decide to throw up on there. Some of them might be good, some of them might be stuff you do not want to play, you know.
That's a really good point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've gone on a Netflix just trying to watch Hulk versus Wolverine. And I don't know if it's going to be on Netflix that month.
Right.
I thought you were gonna say Hulk Hogan and No Holds Barred.
That too, yes, they do
Right.
that on Netflix every month. But I mean, yeah, that's a really good point. I didn't think about that because if I was paying for that service, like specifically for a game, that'd be so salty if they took that game off the next month.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it says here, I'm just kind of looking over the website here. It says it even gives you discounts on Xbox One games. So, love an Xbox One game and want to own it. Interested in an add-on or season pass for a title that you're playing in the Xbox Game Pass catalog. You can save 20% on Xbox One game purchases and 10% on all related add-ons, but only while the base game is currently in the catalog. So even that right there kind of is saying like the games are more than likely gonna come off.
Yeah,
So you can get it for a discount as long as it's on there, but once we take it off, you're no longer going to be able to get it for that discounted price. So if you want that season pass, you got to grab that season pass and all that for the low, but you're still going to have to pay for the title. So it's kind of like a sampler, like come sample these games. You can play them as long as they're on here, but then after they're off, you better buy it with this discounted season pass. Otherwise, you're paying full price in the game store.
yeah. I guess you have to like hope that, based on like what you just said, that because the game is already on your hard drive, you technically have purchased it. So I don't know if they can rip your access to that game if it's on your hard drive.
Right.
So, I mean, that might be the only saving grace if they do rotate titles. Like, if you got the game that you wanted, as long as you have that season pass or the Xbox pass, you still have it.
Right.
I guess that can only be the thing that saves it.
Unless somehow they can like remotely block your access if you're not paying for the service, if you're connected to the internet.
Yeah, they could do that too. Oh man.
So I mean, there is the workaround, just disconnect from the internet. But then there goes the whole online aspect. So, I mean, hey,
Make sure you build up your RPG catalogs.
Right.
You don't need internet access.
Like I understand what they're doing, and I like stuff like that. I mean, there's definitely a market for that type of stuff. People don't want to pay full price for games. If I could play like a monthly fee, especially like people that have kids and stuff like that, like they're not trying to buy a game every month, 2 games every month or whatever, like you can go ahead and get this streaming service. You got some games, I'll pay for this. You can always play different games. That's that, So I mean, there's a market for it, but for the gamers, like the true gamers that are going out trying to get all the trophies on these titles, like I don't see it necessarily working out for them unless they're trying to buy the game at a discounted rate afterwards.
Do you think this is going to be better than GameFly? Because this is essentially GameFly on the internet.
Yeah, I feel like it'll just be more easily accessible, just because it's more than likely going to be built into the software. You'll get the software update. It's going to be right on there. They're going to ask you to sign up every time you log in on the Xbox. So I'm sure they'll come out with incentives. You know how they do. They're going to get somebody in there. They'll give you 3 months free or something like that.
Right.
Or 1 month free or something. 7-day free trial. We'll see what happens with that, but I'm sure they'll use some tactic like that.
Use the code Mission3 to get 2 months free.
Right?
Get yourself Fable 3 on us.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, these titles that are on the screen here, so I'm seeing we got Saints Row on here, Fable 3, Soul Calibur 2, Gears of War Ultimate Edition.
Well, wait a second. That's an Xbox original game.
Soul Calibur?
Yeah, Soul Calibur 2 was on Xbox One. But I mean, the original Xbox.
I thought that was 360.
So
That was an early 360 game.
360 was 4 was the one that was on 360. That had Yoda and the Apprentice and all
that. I could
that.
have sworn Soul Calibur 2 was on GameCube too, bro. Or was it?
Yeah. It was the 3-1. Like each console had a different character.
Yeah. Yeah, but
maybe they are going back to Xbox originals then.
They got Halo 5 Guardians on there if anybody's trying to get that.
Oh yeah, let me get that. I need that in my life. Yeah, here we go.
Get 2K16. Everybody wants to play 2K16 for the story.
With them garbage servers.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like there's a lane for it. Of course, they were gonna pull. I mean, that's just the world we live in. You know, we live in a digital society now. There's not gonna be, you know, these physical copies barely. If they don't have to press these things, they're not gonna. You know, even with like music, people are putting out CDs like months after they've come out on streaming services and stuff, just because they want to see how much money they're gonna be able to make before they actually do it. And that we have the timer going off. Mission 1, I feel, is complete. Xbox Game Pass is probably gonna finesse a few people out there thinking it's something it's not. But overall, I think it will be good for people that aren't really trying to, you know, pay full price for games or pay for games in general. So
Finessing.
now, we can go ahead and get into the second mission here, guys, and that is going to be the fan-selected mission, and that's that.
Was that the Agent's Choice?
Yes, that was the Agent's Choice. Yes, Logan. So before we start though, let's just see where we all lie. Have we all seen the movie?
Yes, we have.
Yes.
All right. So this is going to be a fun one, guys. So we're going to go ahead and get into the agent selected mission. This is what you guys wanted. You wanted to hear this, so we got you. No worries. So mission starts now.
KJ, why don't you take the lead on this one, man? Pop it off.
That was my game. That was my joint, man. Logan. I'm telling you, man. That was, I mean, it was bittersweet, man, because we waited so long to get a traditional Wolverine movie. What is this franchise? How long is old is this franchise?
17 years.
You know,
1999.
And we just, but at least we got it. We got Wolverine swearing. We got Wolverine cutting heads off, cutting people all up, slicing and dicing. And just his overall demeanor, I mean, it was just great, man. And Hugh Jackman, my hat goes off to him for holding it down all this time.
With terrible writing.
Yeah.
Still a good Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Still killing it.
Yep.
Yeah, man. This is, I mean, this has to represent, especially with Deadpool and now Logan, this has to represent something to Fox. How much money they're going to make when they stop making PG-13 movies and make these hero movies that are rated R when they should be rated R. This is by far, to date, my favorite superhero movie. I absolutely love Deadpool, and it was amazing. But this one had a completely different tone. and it represented the end of an era. Like, we're probably going to see a new Wolverine if they do bring him back. We're not going to see Hugh Jackman tearing people up, going into berserker rages, slicing people up. So this was like a great ending. They finished strong with the whole Wolverine era. And now I just hope that Fox gets the hint that they need to make more movies like this.
Yeah, so I just want to say I am completely flabbergasted how somehow 20th Century Fox has fandangled their way into making the best Marvel movie to date. Better than Marvel Civil War,
Right.
better than Deadpool. How did 20th Century Fox, how did they do it? And out of nowhere, because literally it's been months. What is it we found about Logan? What, 6 months ago or something like that? Like there was talks about it, but we didn't really know this was actually gonna be a thing. They were like, yeah, there might be a rated R Wolverine movie. Oh, they'd never do that. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, here's this trailer. Bam. And it's just like from that moment I was like, man, you could just tell like this is gonna be something. And they did not disappoint. The story was on point. The casting was on point. The stunts were on point. Like
every cast member.
Like, bro, and they. Did you know they cast Lil Terrio as Static Shock, bro?
Are you serious?
It's not really Lil Terrio, but it's some kid that looks like Lil Terrio.
Right,
but
right.
I was like, bro. I was looking at him. I was like, that's not Lil Terrio, is it? And I was like, no, that's not Terrio. But it should have been Lil Terrio. But then he had the shock abilities. I was like, all right, at least they made the little brother, made him Static Shock at least, or potentially
everybody
Static
was
Shock.
getting it.
Yeah, I was like, oh snap, what? He's shocking her for real? But
and you got to think about this too. Now, for years, everybody, and I'm sure you all have at some point said to yourself too, like, give up the rights to these movies to Marvel Studios, right?
Mm-hmm. Give them up.
If
Spider-Man, give it up.
Do you think the way Marvel Studios is running right now and how they put out movies, do you think we would have seen a movie like this?
No.
No.
It had to
and
be.
So that's, I mean, it's kind of a blessing in disguise.
It's just, they finally just figured out what they needed to do. They said, dang, we've been trying to, keep ourselves separated from that. We want to, set ourselves apart from this whole thing. We want to control the X-Men in a way we want to, not having to go through the campy, the fun, but, campy, cheesy timeline of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And they finally figured out a way to do it. It's just make it rated R, decide to kill some people, and just be true to the characters. You decided to have this roster of gritty characters, allow them to be gritty characters. And once they do that, it's nonstop. We've seen it with Deadpool, now we see it with Logan. This is only the beginning.
Yeah, I was just thinking about something. The cast of characters that Marvel has the rights to, they seem to be a cleaner bunch. Like Tony Stark has a drinking problem and he was a playboy and all that, but he's still kind of like the American dream, so to speak.
Exactly.
You got Captain America, who's just all around good boy. I think the only character that they have the rights to right now that could really have a good rated R movie is the Hulk. But I don't know how they could make another standalone Hulk movie and, kind of not seem like they're trying to imitate what Fox is doing right now. But, I mean...
Ghost Rider and Blade.
Do they have the rights to Ghost Rider?
Yeah, because he's been on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The first half of the season he was on there.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, if they wouldn't have messed up with Nick Cage 3 times, that'd have been perfect. But I don't know. I mean, hats off to 20th Century for going there, because with Ryan Reynolds and his little self-promoting of Deadpool and the accidental leak of the footage to get fans excited for it, they really opened up a whole new can of worms for rated R movies that should be made for the characters the way they should be.
We can
Deadpool,
thank Deadpool for this movie.
right? Like
Straight
Deadpool
up.
could never be censored. Wolverine never should have been censored, but he was for 17 years.
And look what it got them the entire time. They didn't know what to do because they were like, well, we can't really have them just like ripping people apart. So
Yes, you can. Look at this.
exactly.
You know now that you can. You have to from this point on. You cannot have.
And the box office is telling you the same thing.
Right. There's 5-year-olds sneaking into Wolverine or Logan right now. Like, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, and that story can like the whole storyline, how they mesh the whole X-23 and kind of the Old Man Logan storyline together. It just, I think it was perfect, and the way they did it, they did it perfectly for the send off. For Professor Xavier, Patrick Stewart, and also Hugh Jackman.
Patrick Stewart held it down, though. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, like it was just it was so much better because there was so much more character development that you could tell that they did. Like they really crammed in all of that information without even really touching base on the information, you know, like all of the emotion that was behind all of the dialogue where Logan's just kind of holding back, not trying to tell Professor X what's going on, and I'm like sitting there like, so what happened? Like, why are y'all out here? Why are you holding back? Why aren't you telling him? He's out here tripping, and you're just trying to force this guy to take pills. Like, what the heck's going on? And it's just the way they acted out what was written. And how it was just written in itself, it was phenomenal. It was
they dropped a lot of teasers in there. I caught something when they had the X-24 putting him together. They took Logan's blood and they put it in a briefcase, and on the label of the briefcase it said Essex or Essex Corp, which that represents Mr. Sinister, who was part of the Old Man Logan as well as the Death of Wolverine timeline. It's like they dropped little Easter eggs in there. Like I was trying to figure out why they had Xander. Is it Xander Rice? Yeah, Xander Rice in there rather than Nathaniel Essex. But it's harder to put Mr. Sinister in that type of movie because it was so grounded. But they put 3 different timelines of Wolverine in this movie and made it all cohesive. It's something that the other Fox movies that they've done, like they could not do that. They couldn't even make their own timeline make sense.
right.
But they took 3 different timelines from comic books, put it into one movie, and made it extremely like entertaining. It still made sense without giving you too much exposition. And they left you on the edge of your seats while doing it.
So
That's what I was gonna say. I like that the movie didn't just hold my hand the whole way. Like about some certain things, put the pieces together myself, but at the same time, I'm entertained.
yeah. So pretty much across the board, we would say thumbs up to Logan.
And I give this 17 thumbs up. I'm gonna try and hold up all my fingers and toes and everything else I got.
That's what's up, man. Make sure you guys, if you haven't, go check out Logan. I went to the early bird, and it was lit, man. Everybody was still a packed cinema. It was amazing. I was like, dang, everybody's up at 10 too. All right, you got to go see this movie. I'm about that life as well. So yeah, man, Logan was great. Make sure you guys go check that out. Show support so we can continue to get these rated R superhero movies, these true to the source material films and stuff. So let's go ahead and work our way into our final mission, guys. We are going to be tackling handheld ports that don't suck. Now, this may be kind of tough. This is going to be pretty opinionated for everybody out there. So if you disagree with us, just throw some comments down below in the comment section. Tweet at us, anything you really have to do, and let us know if you agree or disagree. So we're going to go ahead and get into the final mission of the night, handheld ports that don't suck. and we'll start the mission now.
So, I don't have too much experience with handheld gaming because I never really got into that life. But there were two games that I did play that were actually PS Vita ports, and they were Little Big Planet and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It's kind of hard to mess up a port for a fighting game, but the graphics and everything still held up on that game. And then Little Big Planet is fun to play, whether you're by yourself or whatever you're doing. That game is fun. So those are probably the only two games that I can think of that didn't suck as a port. But there were a few games that I played with, especially with KJ, because he was big into handheld gaming, that I was just like, no, this game isn't like enough to get me into a Nintendo DS or something like that.
I'd say I have a few that I could talk about. So when I was younger, handheld gaming was definitely my jam. Of course, I was brought into handheld gaming by things like Pokemon and stuff like that. But I was always intrigued by RPGs. I always loved RPGs. Final Fantasy VI being one of my favorite games. When they brought Final Fantasy VI to the Game Boy Advance, I had to grab it, and it was so true to the original, and it was great. But not only was it true to the original, but they also added new classes. They added more to the storyline. They fine-tuned the audio, so the music was more on point. It was just the complete package. It brought me back to the times like a few years before when I was playing it on the Super Nintendo with my brother, and now I'm taking it on the go, playing it on the bus, and it was just fun. I would just be encapsulated in the game and the storyline. Even though I had played the game previously, it was like I was playing it again with all of the new bosses and stuff that were in it too, and the new weapons. Like, they just added the perfect amount of stuff to the game, and that goes with the second one that I was going to talk about as well. Final Fantasy Tactics, The War of the Lions. I don't know if either of you guys have played Final Fantasy Tactics on the PlayStation.
No, I haven't.
No? Alright, so
I've seen it.
So I definitely recommend going back and playing Final Fantasy Tactics. Now, it's not your typical Final Fantasy. It's like a strategy type of Final Fantasy. You actually have to strategize. You have to move each character around the board, but they all have different classes that you can equip. Of course, you're going to be able to have your summoners, your mages, your knights, your ninjas, your monks, all of those classes that you love from Final Fantasy. It brings all of that. It brings all of the weaponry, but it comes with a different turn-based strategy. So it has that story, but it's more fine-tuned. They actually kind of fixed the story too, because in the PlayStation version it got kind of confusing, especially for people that were younger. A lot of it didn't really make sense. They kind of cleaned that up. They brought updated cutscenes and stuff. It kind of made it more intriguing, and then they brought more classes to the game too. And like, the classes is the thing that really makes it exciting, because yeah, you can edit your team, you can edit all of your characters. You can have a team of monks, knights, paladins, whatever it may be, lancers, whatever. But at a certain point, you reach a certain level, there's no more classes. So bringing more classes, even stronger classes, new summons, all of that stuff to that game, it just was great. And then fixing the story on top of that, it just made it so much more fun. I still actually kind of play the game from time to time. Whenever I get together with my brother, he has a copy of it too, and we always just kind of look at each other's lineup, see the characters that we have and stuff, bringing back the nostalgic feels from way back in the day. So
Sounds dope.
yeah, definitely. I definitely
Yeah.
recommend checking that out. Final Fantasy Tactics is super dope.
That's what's up, man. I'd have to say, I thought we actually might have had this together, because I know you like skating games. But man, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 on the Game Boy Advance was such a good port, man.
Yes, it was.
You know, they changed it to an isometric view, but it still felt like Tony Hawk to a T, man. They had all the grind, all the unlockable. Hell, I unlocked Spider-Man and everything in there too.
Yep. Yeah. Oh man, I remember Spider-Man on that too. Yeah, that was another one I had, man. Tony, it was so good. That was a great port. Um,
Yeah.
it was the same. It brought the levels, like bringing that game, especially at that time too, because at that time that game was so big. Like if you were a kid, you were if you weren't playing Tony Hawk, like what are you playing at that time? Like Tony Hawk was one of the biggest games out at the time, for the
Yeah, knowledge.
casuals as
I
well
used to go
as
over to knowledge. He had all of them.
yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man, that was like a solid 10 years for me that I was stuck playing those games. Like every skate game that came out, like from Tony Hawk to Skate, like Skate 1, 2, and 3, I had all of them.
Yeah,
I'm a little disappointed I didn't have a Game Boy Advance at the time. I know KJ did. So, like, I couldn't play the port, but I probably would have wasted even more of my time playing that game.
It was real good.
yeah, man.
The other one that I really enjoyed is probably, and that's my all-time favorite port, is a Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max on the PlayStation Portable. That's actually the best version of Street Fighter Alpha 3 you can get. They added 2 characters. They added a reverse dramatic battle. So instead of 2 people fighting 1 person, you were that 1 person fighting 2 people.
Mm.
Damn.
That's what's up.
You still have that, don't
Yeah.
you?
Oh,
Get it out. Here we go.
all right now. Huh, huh, huh.
Yeah,
And this
buddy,
was a
there
good
we
port
go.
too, the Warriors. This is a pretty good port as well. I highly recommend
Oh
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Warriors is a great port, man. That is
It
a
is.
great
They were able to bring all the modes and everything.
Yeah.
Just the load times are kind of obnoxious, but other than that,
Mm.
it's right here.
Warriors is a majorly underrated game, both console and
Yeah.
PSP.
Most definitely. I'd put that up in there. Probably top 5 Rockstar games.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah.
it came out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Yeah.
It was, 30 years after the movie was released, and they just randomly made that game.
Yep.
And that's one of my favorite movies too. So to have a game that complements it in such a way, oh man, that's awesome.
I wish I had 2 bottles on my fingers so I could do that clinking sound.
Yeah, but another one, I would call it an honorable mention because the game itself is so good and they didn't really change much. They pretty much just brought the game to handheld, but that would be Chrono Trigger. But that's just one. It's like a classic.
Oh,
They
that was
didn't.
my third one. You took mine.
That was a good one, man. Like they brought it over with no issues at all. And also I'd say Paper Mario. Forget exactly the this guy got this Super Street Fighter 4 out here. 3D edition.
That's a good port, man.
I think Metal Gear Solid Mobile Ops is pretty good too. It wasn't exactly a port, but it was like a little supplemental port, so to speak. It was pretty fun.
And yeah, then Peace Walker was its own like all new adventure made just for that. It was
Yeah.
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few ports that actually aren't bad. It's it varies on the games, but yeah, they typically do a fairly good job. Before we close out, because we have about a minute, do you think can you think of any maybe horrible ports that you've played?
How much time you got, fella?
We got 40 seconds.
That's the one time that somebody answers that question.
There's so many bad fighting game ports. Like the Killer Instinct on Game Boy is terrible. Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat on Game Boy is garbage. Shoot, what else we got here? Oh my god, I'm gonna hit myself.
I hate the Grand Theft Auto games that got ported over. It's
Yes.
too small, man. It's just too small.
Oh, Driver 2 is garbage. Driver 2 sucks. Game
Driver
Boy
2.
Advance.
I honestly thought Driver 2 sucked in general, but that's just my opinion. But we're out of time for the missions, guys. We successfully made it through all three, though. I would say it was pretty easy this time, man. Xbox, um,
Yeah.
it's easy to kind of, not to rain on their parade, but the Game Pass is one of those situations where it's probably going to be, something that people will probably jump on, but it'll probably fade away after a little bit, or just annoy us until they change it into something else. Logan, overall, we all think that was a great movie, and we definitely would recommend it to anybody out there. 5 all day,
5 out of 5.
17 thumbs up. And then also handheld ports that don't suck. There was a bunch of good ones. Make sure you guys review back all of these missions and give us your opinion. Let us know what you think. Maybe you think some of the games that we said were good ports are crappy ports. Let us know down in the comments section. Also, you can tweet at us at Mission 3 Podcast. That's Mission, the number 3 Podcast on Twitter. As well as we are going to start a Facebook page for Mission 3 as well. We're going to try to maybe run polls on there as well. So look for Mission 3 Podcast at Mission 3 Podcast, just like on Twitter, on Facebook as well. Same thing on our Instagram. Just follow us on all those social media sites. Say what's up. And then you can also follow us individually. You can follow me at Corey Elijah. Follow KJ at Play Legit. And you can find knowledge wherever the hell he wants you to find him at.
Yeah, actually, I want people to go on our Twitter page and put some more ports that suck. I'm interested to hear what people have to say about ports that suck.
That makes me want to do an article too. It got me thinking.
Yeah, yeah. But you can find me on Instagram. It's BE11APPY. It's Be Happy, but it's 11s in the middle.
So you make sure you go follow all of us. Make sure you let us know what ports suck. And look out for the poll that's coming up for next week's show as well. We're going to let the agent select the next mission as well. Other than that, we definitely appreciate everybody stopping by, showing us some love. And until next time, guys, make sure you stay alert and stay prepared for your mission. Aye, aye, El
Mission
Capitan.
complete.
Mission complete.
Yeah.
You.